Did we finally get this to work? I think we did. There we go. Look at that. We got something working. Okay. I've done this 2 times already, running down what this stream is going to be about. So we're going to do it a third time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the average ship poster instead does something normal instead of ship post, because I only ship post when an idea comes to mind, and I don't have ideas. So instead we're doing this, something that I've done many times before, but I'm going to do it on stream. Step 1 of this stream. I got these 2 controllers off eBay. They said that they were 4 parts or repair. Might have stick drift, might not. The guy doesn't know. But I got them for 25 bucks, both of them. We're going to clean these. We're going to take them apart. We're going to clean them the best we can. I have canned air to spray into the joysticks to see if that'll fix the stick drift. Essentially, we're just trying to clean them the best we can to get them full functioning and great. Step 2 is going to be taking an Elite controller, something I've never messed with before, and seeing if we can mess with not only the ABXY buttons, because I know that's a thing you can do, but I want to see if I can replace the Xbox logo button. The only thing is it clicks, so I don't know if I can. So we're experimenting a little bit on this one. And I have a video over here, to help me with that. Third is taking a controller that is already kind of in a rough shape, because it's missing a back. We're going to take all the parts off of it, and ideally put it on the Elite controller except for the joysticks. If we can't get the Xbox button on there, we'll leave it at that too. But ideally we get at least the buttons here onto the Elite controller. So maybe even that's something we do first, because nonetheless we have to get it off of here. So that might be step 2, and then the Elite controller step 3. So that's the itinerary for today. I'll put this to the side. What I was doing before I realized that it wasn't streaming properly was I was in the process of cleaning this, because this was pretty dirty. Now, as you can see, let's go this way. It looks much better. So I'm in the process of cleaning the back, because as you can see, the back is rough. So I'm gonna continue what I was doing, because obviously this is gonna be a process. This will be a process. I want to know what this guy did to get black marks on a controller. I've played with Xbox controllers and white controllers for a long time. I don't think I've ever put black marks on a controller now. I've thrown controllers. I've done that, and that's caused marks, but never just from straight up holding a controller have I put marks on it. It's kind of coming off. It's stuck on there, but it's kind of working. Oh, if you use your nail, it really works. You learn new things. Again, this is my first time really cleaning down the controller like this. So I gotta learn some new methods. We're making real good progress. Like, that's already much better than we were at. Look at that. In terms of the dark spots, looking way better. I'm gonna get a new rag, and we're gonna keep on this until we can get it pretty clean. Because now I know this is doable. I didn't know how doable it was. All you gotta do is put a little nail into it, and it is quite doable. So that's pretty cool. mean, look at that. That's like kind of before and that's after. And this side was way worse. That was big progress on that side. Big progress right there. Sorry, bopped the mic a little bit. I am using a headset. I have a mic, but I'm moving soon, and I don't want to put all the effort into setting that up until after I end up moving. So after I move, we will have a proper mic setup. Wow. Implementing the fingernails is a huge success in the cleaning department. I mean, that's now all you see. That it's essentially pristine now. Beautiful, some might say. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what this guy did, but it was something that caused a lot of residue. Things are coming out pretty good. Gotta get the sides here still. So I know there's at least one other guy watching the stream. I say hello to you and thank you. I only have it on the regular YouTube, so I can't see who it is. But I do say thank you, because a lot of focus will be less on the people unless you know if you decide to chat, and more on the cleaning part itself. If successful, these are controllers I intend to use. So I'd like to really make sure I do it right. Almost done the cleaning, which will be nice, because then we can move to the black controller. And the black controller, I don't think I'm gonna have to clean that much, because even if, let's say, there is residue all over it, you can't tell for obvious reason. So I'm probably just gonna like do a general wipe down and then run. Let's start run with the disassembly. Almost there. Get a little bit here. Just kind of run the edges that we won't really do otherwise. Again, the cleaning will be far from perfect, but It'll still be nice. I don't intend to like resell these. I do intend at some point on offering a custom controller cert like for like a fee. I'll like customize controllers. But like this is solely personal. Just fun to do to me. To me it's just a lot of fun to just take things apart like controllers or computers and such and just see what you can, get creative with them. Yeah, I have spare parts and you know, instead of, you know, buying a new one after you break them, repurpose it a little bit. Take some of the parts. You can do something out of it. So yeah, I've never opened this before. Oh, it don't look that bad, man. It don't look that bad. Well, there you have it. What this controller did look like before, which you didn't fully see because I already cleaned up front. But now the back is essentially pristine. That looks nice. I found a blemish. So that coffee stain you see right there, that was all over the front of it before when I thought I was streaming but wasn't. But now, pristine. So that's controller 1 done, essentially. I'll double check the sides here. Because, I mean, we will be open. These are the parts we will be opening, but it still always is nice to see what you can grab. So you don't surprise yourself when you open it and it sprays everywhere, because that's no fun. This is gunk you don't want spraying everywhere in your room. Do one more swipe here. And we will put this to the side and start on the black one. Throw that to the side, grab a new wipe. This is gonna be more general because I don't know where the blemishes are. So like D-pad needs cleaning, we'll get in there. And then when we take it apart we can get a little more on the D-pad. We'll get the top of the joysticks, we'll get the sides, and then we'll do a general scrub through of everything else. You see the top of that? I have to learn how to get to this camera. Gonna focus a little bit. Anyway, you can see it. You can see it. It's not very clean. Kind of really. Even if you push two buttons in, that's okay. If the buttons are in a bad, rough state, we can always take them out and clean them that way. And again, I don't know how bad if it's got the same residue on this controller as the other one, so we're just gonna do a general wipe down. Because I won't know anyway. And as long as I wipe it with a disinfectant wipe, I think it'd be pretty okay using this thing. As long as I know it's wiped down and cleaned. See, this controller seems cleaner than the other one too, which is fascinating. So we'll wipe both of these down. Also ignore the flashing. My lamp is not very consistent, so any sort of movement will make it go around. So if I go grab something and it flickers, that's why. It's because I'm literally just grabbing something out of the stand. Yeah, he definitely did not use this one nearly as much. There's still residue on it, but it's not as bad. Sorry, I need to keep it on the camera. quick wipe down this one too, and we'll probably start with the white one. What reasons is non-existent, just sit in my hand. So now we get to start. So I have this toolkit. I like keeping the top. The top is very useful to me in this situation. I'm also gonna finagle some things around so I can have space for stuff. This is where our fun little, very dull cheese knife comes into play. Because all we're gonna do is just find our way into this corner here and just pull like that. You can see just how dirty they are too in there too. Because no cleaning's gonna be as good unless you really take things apart and get into there. So I'll just quickly clean that up a little bit. Alright. Get in here a little bit too. This is just the beginning of the cleaning too, guys, because we're going to open this up and we have no idea what we're going to see. No idea what I'm going to see. And that's where it gets interesting, because this could be... I mean, I've dealt with controllers that have had soda spilled on them. So all the buttons every individual button had to be, like, really scrubbed. Which is, you can imagine, was not ideal. But it works now. There's still I gotta fix the left button on the D-pad, because that doesn't work every time. But every other button is flawless now, which is great. I shouldn't say flawless, but it's pretty good. It'll do the job quite well, and you won't really care. Just a little bit of residue on the triggers, actually. That should be really easy. Like, just scrub a little bit, and all done. Yep. Look at that. That was... You can't see it, but there was a little bit on the D-pad, or on the triggers. No, those are clean. Alright. Take the cover off. Get your screwdriver. And you're going with TR8. For the first 5 of the back. This is the fun part. Because you're going to try and peel off this sticker, because that's where the 5th screw is. Once you do that, you find it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just go. Get on. It's being stubborn. Why are you stubborn? Okay. Or that'll come out in a minute. That's what's supposed to happen. This is where this comes into play, because you'll end up with smaller screws. I put the smaller screws on top and the bigger screws on the bottom. Really, it's preference on where you put it, but I like having this because then you can kind of, with the tiny squares in it, the grid pattern, you can kind of section out screws if you really want to. The top ones are very stubborn on this controller. There's that. So now I should just be able to take that off. Ooh, that looks fun. And then this comes off too, with the screw still in it. So I should just be able to pull this out now. There we are. That was funny. They wouldn't come off otherwise. Oh yeah, I can see how gunk got into here. How you might have minor stick drift. So we're gonna grab another wipe. I'm gonna use a lot of wipes today. Oh man, even look at the ABXY. If it will zoom in. At all. We'll zoom in. It will not focus up, but there is a lot of gunk in these buttons. And that is there you can kind of see it right there. Oh, if I angle it especially. Not great. So do a little bit of cleaning here. Keep getting it too close. Very not used to doing this under camera, so I can get real up close and personal to really make sure I get everything. With the camera, I have to make sure everything is seen, because otherwise what the hell are you even here for? For the smaller buttons, I'll show you what I like to do in a second, but for the big ones, it's just really circling it. Seeing what you can grab. I am not a huge fan of this song. It sounds like basketball music. So that's not something I want to be listening to right now. I cannot put this to the side right now. Okay. I don't know why this is open the way it is, but let's open this a little bit more. Anyway. What I like to do... Well, there goes the phone. What I like to do with the smaller buttons is get the screwdriver that you're using and just wrap it in it. And then you can kind of go around and just... Really helps. Instead of using a finger, which might not fit, you can just circle this around. And it really gets all the gunk out of it. And if it gets too dirty, you drop it, move to a different spot. Get all that out of there. Flip it. Make sure you get the other way around. You just do that with all the sockets here. You might do this once, you might do this twice, you might do this 3 times. Really depends. It depends more on stickiness. That's the most important thing, right? You don't want to play with sticky buttons. So ideally, what happens is you only have to clean it once, if at all, and then it works just fine after that. But sometimes, like the soda controller I had, you have to go in again or a 3rd time to really assure that it's clean. Back's less important in my opinion. Like this won't really be touching anything that's gonna kill it other than maybe the motor, which the motor is more of a meh, because the motor will always be running. And technically, which is why I almost wasn't gonna replace the shell, but I'm going to on the black and green one over there, is you don't technically need vibration for controllers. You don't technically need it to play a game. It's just very handy in situations. That's why people like it, because you get used to having it, and sometimes you gain some trust in the vibrators telling you what's going on in the game. So people just prefer that. But technically you don't need it. As long as you have it, just and you can build awareness without having vibration controllers. But I've given into it. I want vibration, so I will be trying to swap it. All right. You can put these to the side. You don't need these. Next step is going to be taking off this top, these bumpers and the cover for it. It's very easy. There's these two tabs here. You pull up on the tabs, and it kind of loops around and it pops off. As for the bumpers, there's a little socket right here. You can just grab your screwdriver, get it. Don't put it too far in there, but get it where you can leverage. You get it in there, and all you do pull out and up. Comes right off. Now you might freak out because this trigger is now loose. That's the point, because when you put this back down, it puts the trigger in place. It's a spring mechanism, so it's meant to do that when you take the bumpers off. And then with some finagling, this comes off, but otherwise you can always come around on the other side of this. Just kind of pop this one off too. That's why I don't like doing that. I like rather finagling it off, because sometimes I do make things fly, but it's an easy way to do it. Wow. I wish this camera knew how to focus, but it is dirty in there. That is, I understand how they might have stick drift. Holy cow. Yeah, that's gonna be, that might not be fixable, because hair is a clingy motherfucker. I don't think there's no amount of compressed air that's gonna get hair out of that, because that's what it is. It's a bunch of gunk in its hair. No, this one's pretty bad. Not ideal. So I'll clean this off once we're done here, but wow. I was expecting some dirt, but I guess that's what happened. That's what it takes to get stick drift. It's usually just hair. That's why I never get it, probably, because there's not enough hair on my household to cause that. Alright, anyway. Put your joysticks to the side. Keep your components all together to the best of your ability. But really, as long as you know where you are, you're fine. Don't want to put that all up there. Now you're done to this. At the main piece here, you're gonna see two wires here that plugs into here. You want to be very careful with these, because these will break if you're not careful. But you want to get a nail in here and just give it just enough pressure for it to unplug from the socket, just like that. So now this one's loose. You can kind of see the plug it goes in. It's still blurry for some reason, but that goes in there. You do some plugging on that side. We did it without breaking anything, so now these are loose. Next step you're going to do is get your screwdriver, take your bit off, find a TR6 bit. So the big ones are TR8, and these tiny ones here, these are TR6. And some people, if you're inexperienced, I recommend trying to get the motors off. I'm experienced enough where I can get this all off without taking the motors out. So all you're gonna do is unscrew. And you're gonna notice two things when you try and take this off. One is that it's a bit rough too, because do you see that white bar there? That's actually how they connect. That plugs in the front motherboard to the back motherboard. So you have to pull that off. That's part one. Part two is what's gonna fall out of here once I do that. This is your audio jack. So do not lose this, and don't do what I do sometimes. And please remember to put this back in there when you're done. When you put it in, it goes in like that. The prongs face up, as long as the controller's facing down. So you need to pull that out. And now we get to step one of our cleaning of our repair process. Because there is, I wish you could see this. I wish this camera wasn't so blurry, but there is a lot of hair in here. And that's going to be your main culprit of stick drift. So ideally what we can do here is just pick off most of this hair. And then we can stick my can of compressed air in here. And just get all this off. Because as you could assume, it's not ideal to have all this on here. So, I've got some of that off. I'm gonna give me like 10. Oh, there's still more hair. That's one fun part about hair. It'll always be there. So, I'm gonna do my best to spray the crap out of these. But I will be right. Give me like 10 seconds. It's literally across the room here. I'm gonna go grab that canned air and do what we can. Alright, got our air. So, we're gonna kind of just spray around here a little bit. We're gonna get in here. I already see components moving around. See stuff moving around. It's really not going to be ideal blowing in, but what other choice do you have, really? That's controller 1. Or joystick 1. This is essentially all you're doing, is doing your absolute best. Spray everywhere. Hope that whatever hair on it gets the hell out of there. Because that's your only hope, really. What's it spraying? Oh, it's just getting really cold. That's kind of cool, actually. Anyway. Yeah, this is a very cold container, obviously. So, we get that part done, right? That's our main concern. So now that that's kind of put to our best efforts to try and clean, and they look much better already. So it's a good sign. What we're gonna do, pretending it looks like that, is continue our teardown. Now we're looking at, in here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 screws on this bottom motherboard that we're going to remove. And that's essentially going to bring us to the buttons. That's what's nice about these controllers. They're relatively easy to take apart and figure out. And now that we have caught up to that, it's as easy as pulling this out a little bit and pulling this out. Whoa! That is one dirty front face. And if I can't clean this, I do have spares of these two. There even is one on that black and white one. I black and green one. But that is one dirty interface. And as you can see, sticky pad, dirty pad, and a very dirty front plate. So that's likely what's causing problems here. But we have a wipe for that. No words for that. There's no words to explain how dirty something can be. So that's what's funny. All that work, all it did was a little bit of cleaning, and it's all clean again. Obviously, that's not the only thing. We still have like the rubber to clean and stuff, but all you need is a little bit of motivation, and you'll be able to just clean and really make sure your controller lasts longer than you expect. Just, I understand controllers isn't like the most expensive thing in the world, but they're getting pricier as the months roll by. So always make sure, if you have the capability to, clean your controllers. So as you just saw, flipping the controller over will dump all your buttons as long as the thing's out, except for the D-pad. The D-pad will stay. The D-pad also I'm not too worried about, because now that I clean like the interface, I think it's almost like, hey, we'll clean a D-pad a little bit. If you want to take out the D-pad, there's a little, you can see there's a bracket here. All you have to do is pull this down and out. And then with some finagling, you'll get a thumb up here, get the top part off. And you will see there's a unique pattern on how this D-pad works. All you're making sure is that, so you see there goes up, down, left, but on 3 of the 4, and then this one up here just goes up, right, down, or up, or right, down, left, depending on how you angle it. The one that doesn't have extra stuff on it goes down. It points down. So it'll always go back on. It'll always go back on like that. So since that part's done, we can kind of do that now. After I remember to clean this. It's just fascinating how you get a controller to this point. It's very, I think it's very clear this guy would like eat. Wow, doing whatever. Can we get this button just kind of sitting here first? There we are. No, we can't. It doesn't want to. So this gets fun because there is something it latches onto. This one you have to really just see yourself. Kind of figure out. If you can get everything else apart, this will be a pretty easy one to do, but I can see how it can get confusing. So now our D-pad's back on. That one's a lot harder to explain. That's why I didn't bother explaining. It's very hard to explain. There's like the top part latches onto something that you have to find, and then the bottom part you kind of put back where you had it. The bottom part's the easy part, the top part's the little harder part, and it's very hard to explain. You just kind of got to see it to understand it. And this camera does not let me do that. So what I like to do is just double check each button, really make sure they're clean. That's what I'm doing right now. Really make sure the buttons are clean. You notice I'm not the most talkative person. I'm very used to not saying a lot, or when I'm with my friends, I talk a lot more. So, what'll probably happen is I have another channel that I'll find a way to link onto this in the channel description. And what I'll do is I'll private all those videos. Those videos are probably like 6-7 years old. They're old videos, and I'm not exactly one to promote that content either because I made a lot of editing errors in them. Because I was a little boy. I was only in high school. So we'll probably private those, and then I'll start streaming on their gaming streams with the boys. Because I think we have a shit ton of fun on those. I think you'd enjoy those a lot. All right. Do the thing we did earlier, which is grab your screwdriver, wrap it, get into these holes on the front of the controller here. Just assure that they're clean. You don't have to like... These are usually going to be a little more safe unless they're sticky. But, you know, it never hurts to really assure that the buttons the sockets that the buttons are sliding through are clean. You know, never hurts to assure that for the guys. This will always be less of a worry. Your biggest worry when it said there might be stick drift is the stick drift. But we've kind of done what we could in that department. So once we're through that, we're pretty much, unless something pops in my head again, pretty much good. It looks brand new. Obviously it's not, because there could well be crumbs and stuff on the bottom of this. You'll never know. We'll never be able to look in here unless you just straight up take these off, which involves soldering. I don't have a soldering station, and if you're gonna pay for it, they're just gonna tell you to buy a new one because soldering is expensive anyway. So if you can't clean it with canned air or with your hands, you're better off buying a new one. I still made this purchase, however, because even if I go to test these and they still have stick drift and they're unplayable with, I now have shells, I have a motherboard piece, I have all these extra pieces, a battery cover, joystick things, white bumpers, which are harder to come by, and if one day I learn how to take triggers off, I have white triggers too, and all these buttons that I can then use on other controllers. So always something to think about. But the clean and repair is essentially over. Now it's all about reassembly. So what to do is kind of move this as far away as possible. Get this out of the way as possible. Usually I like just doing something like that. And get these buttons back in. What's nice is each button has prongs in it, so it'll kind of slide in place. Don't forget this little button. This little icon is to connect your sync button. Never forget that. Here comes the fun part. Because sometimes this is when things can mess up. Because once you get this rubber grip on, it's time to get the motherboard back in. And then you're screwing. So you really want to make sure that when you do the screwing that none of the buttons pop out. So what I always like to do is you get a screw. Screw one in. If there's no resistance, you're in pretty good shape. But then you just want to make sure you test every button. Make sure you still test every button. Sure they all click. They all click. You can keep on going. At this point, you are nearly done. So that's 6. So once you get all your screws on, things get interesting. Step 1. Remember where you put your headphone connector. Always make sure you put it in face up, and it won't move if you get in the right spot. So just make sure that's there. 2, flip this so we'll get in its spot. 3, get your wires up and over. 4 is make sure that the white bar aligns with what you are trying to connect to. Then push in. If it pushes in flush, you're good. Then all you need to do is finish your screwing. Double check that your headphone connector is in there. Looks like it's fine. Oop. You should be fine if you make a mistake trying to put screws in. Obviously, if you hit something and it snaps off, you might have fucked your controller, but as long as if it slips off, as long as no damage is actually done, you're fine. Alright, you get your screws in. Big thing to remember, plug your things back in. Left wire goes to the top circle. They look like tiny circles. Then the right one goes underneath to the one on the bottom. If I can plug it in. If yeah, essentially put these in their spots. And we are in a position to kind of put everything back together. So we start with bumpers. Get those in. With the way to get this thing back on that covers the bumpers, you'll see here there's one thing here. they're like protrude. They're like plastic that protrudes out a little bit, and that's what these circles will go in. So you just kind of line it up, and then you pull up and over. You just gotta pull, and it'll feel like you're gonna break something, but you're not. And now it's in. Next up is your joysticks. Make sure they're extra clean, so if you put this on, nothing's gonna go in it. Those are in. Get your shells going here. This one something's got to be careful with, because if you're not paying attention, one of two things will happen. Either your triggers will not go in fully, or one of these battery prongs will bend. So really make sure that it's flush in there. Once that's going, you can swap your TR6 with your TR8. And just put it all back together. If things go well. Then you put these covers back on. Would you look at that? Make sure you get your sticker back. And it feels like it's a brand. You could not, if you told me that this controller was essentially brand new, people might believe you. So there's controller 1 that is all complete. We still have one more, and then we can move on to getting parts off the other one. So everything we just did in the white one, we're essentially doing it again here. So I'll probably be a little more quiet. You guys can just kind of watch. I'll try and really assure that I stay over the camera so y'all can see it. But yeah, nothing really changes. Yeah, this controller was definitely not used nearly as much. So I'm wondering what the issue with this one is. Because maybe this is one that's unfixable. Which is fine, because I'm low on black back covers. So it'd be nice to have one. And I get to have the fun experience of randomly putting stuff. Wondering where that was. Always assure that you're cleaning when you can. It is a used controller. The joystick did not want to stay on that one. Yeah, oh, never mind. This one's just as dirty. Oh, boy. Definitely got myself into something. Well, this one's especially rough on the inside of the joysticks too. So I just wish this thing showed it better. But yeah, that's not going to be fun to clean out. This might be the joystick issue. The white one might be salvageable, the black one might not. The joystick drift. Should specify with joystick drift. Might be the main. I'm going to call that might be the main issue with this one. Because, wow. Like, I want to use the wipe with the joysticks. Because it's that bad in here. Usually I'll just pick at it because I don't want to risk anything, but I feel like this is already like a lost cause. Also, I'm bringing it closer to me so I can like really see what's going on in here, because as you can see, there's a lot on here. So we'll do a little more of a research in there once we get the back part of this off. just as dirty, essentially. I would argue, yeah. Maybe the white one was still a little dirtier, but yeah, definitely similar amount of grime on the top part of this. I would just say the white one's a little more. So. Same deal on the pads here. I just realized I never cleaned the shell. Do that real fast. Okay. I'm gonna dump the buttons out now. D-pad looks a lot better. Like, I feel like the D-pad I can actually leave it on there this time without having to take it off. So that's always a positive thing. But now we enter the aching issue here. What the fuck is that? Never have I ever. It's like a little brown thing in it. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be fixable, but damn, I'm gonna try. I think it's real cool too. Okay, well that's new. I've never done that before. I'm gonna quickly wash my hands. I don't know what that was. So. Alright, that was fun. I gotta do a quick Google search here on live, because I want to know what liquid is in an electronics duster. Interesting. So the technical thing I should be doing, which I don't know if it's even doable, is tilting this towards the thing for me to spray. Which you guys can't see, obviously, because it's going to have to be off screen for it to work. I guess that makes more sense. That was fascinating. Thought first here, I learned the hard way that it's not, in fact, just straight up compressed air. It's a liquid that then turns into air as you spray it. That's why you need to keep the can upright. I haven't used compressed air that often, so I'm just going to mark that as you learn something new every day. And we ride. Just cleaning the buttons now. Okay. So we're essentially done the cleaning elements, so we can kind of move right to the normal just reassembly. Because once again, we've cleaned we might have cleaned the joysticks too well. And by too well, I mean maybe we accidentally sprayed just straight up liquid that I don't know what is into it. And again, we don't fully know if these are okay or not. And we don't think we'll ever know. Just due to the sheer grime that's in them. So... unfortunate, but is reality if this is unfixable. So, just double check the inside of these. Let's really see if there's a year on these, because maybe that'll give away, like, what year these were made. Not seeing one right away. Two 6/2020. Interesting. Cleaning the insides again. We are. Looking pretty good if you ask me. So, I don't know why I'm putting that in first. I brought up before that you need to put the buttons in. Don't drop it. I may be good at this, but I'm not perfect. I do have some clumsy hands and some shaky hands sometimes too. Nope. All right. That gets back there. I might move this camera a little bit more towards me. There we go. Just so you can actually see what's going on here. There we are. Alright, well that's the best we're gonna get. I get the start putting the case back on her. Then we get to really. We have 2 controllers to test. I did not want to be on there. That screw struggled a little bit. There we go. 2 broken controllers into 2 maybe working controllers. We don't really know until we find out. Won't be able to find out till after stream, because I don't have a console here. So now what I get to do is part 2, which is taking this one apart. So now I get to do this, but it doesn't reassemble, because once you get the parts out, we essentially save the front shell and then toss out the rest of it. Except for we save the shell and the buttons. And we toss out the rest of it, because it is essentially garbage. And I hate to say it too, because I really did like this controller. This is one of my favorite controllers. I'm not amazing when it comes to protecting controllers. Now essentially everything under this point can be saved. So we can save this and all the buttons behind it. I'm missing a screw. Where is it? Am I blind? No, they're all off. Why is it just stuck? Okay, well this is new. I've never had this happen before. Why is it stuck? I'm confused, but it did come off. So essentially this gets saved, all this gets saved. Even I'll save the D-pad, even though the D-pad I'm not as big a fan of saving. And this gets lost. Because again, I've yet to figure out how to fuck with. It's good learn today. Let's do a little bit of learning. What happens if I just keep taking screws out of here? Oh. That's it? That's all it takes? We got triggers too. That would have been good to know. All it does is connect, and then I can take this whole thing off. And this all comes off. I have learned so much today. Now the shell's fixable too. Now the shell's salvageable. And you know what? I can actually fix the other one now too. Because one of the biggest issues some of the controllers has is with the spill, it got into the triggers. So sometimes it'll stick. So now I can actually, now I know I can replace the shell on it. That's actually really cool. So this goes goodbye, everything else gets saved. I'm gonna throw all that to the side for now. That's really cool. Okay. This will be fun. Obviously, like I said, never done anything with an Elite controller before, so I... Whoops. Is it that stuck on there? Hold on. Anyway. This technically we keep too. Is it the same size? It's not. Is it the T8? I would have had it too. Fuck. It is a T8. So I'm just gonna start taking more screws out. Okay, these are different. I'm gonna put those in the middle. Is this covered? It's another screw, right? It is another screw. These screws are really on there. So now, I'm guessing the bottom part kind of comes off here. There you have it. So this is the battery compartment. Did I just break something? This is why I have this video. Hmm. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot. I'm nervous. I will take these off if I can, just to be safe. They come off much easier. And I think all I need to do are these the same size? No, these are okay. These are TR6. I am very freaked out. Now, does this come off in a similar manner? Looks like it actually. Yeah, okay. It'll come off like that, it's fine. I'm not gonna step ahead here. Oh, was that a... I see. This isn't supposed to be here. Move. I see. That's supposed to be there. Okay, I see the problem. Oh, the fucking audio jack. Goddamn audio jack. Okay. I don't actually know how to take this part off. Okay. He already has them off. Uh, so I have to figure out a way. I might need to go grab something for this. Also, my music shut off. Oh, there it goes again. So I need some way to grab this, because I guess you're supposed to turn this off. There's a lot of scary stuff involved in this. I wish I could just grab it, but it just comes off. Just doesn't want to turn. So his it just came off. So I'm gonna be right back. So this might be where I very possibly break something. Because now I have pliers. I'm just gonna try and hold down and turn. He just popped out of socket again because I'm doing so much force. I really should have done this while it was still in the... You know, I'm ripping it. We might have to call this one a dud if this keeps happening. Turning left. Oh, we got movement. Hold on. There you have it. Dream is not dead. It's not with that done. Boom. That's heavy. That's a heavy ass joystick. So what I'm gonna assume is we're literally just a few screws away from the front. So I think I'm just gonna go rogue here. Oh, these are small. No way these are smaller. No, they're the same. Okay. Does this just come out? Oh, it has to go straight up again. Yeah, I'm experiencing. There's two poles here. There's a pole over here and there's a pole down here. It has to align with the pole. There's a lot of struggle because of these boards. Because of these poles. We're up. We're out. So what's going on here? So there's two... Weird. What is... It is... Yeah, I figured it'd be something like this. Unless there is a way... No, this is a whole button. No, there's no way. What is happening? What? Okay, there's a lot of confusion. In short, I really don't think we can bring the green one with, because there's not even a cover for it. Okay. I'm not going any further than this, because obviously I still want this to work. But there's a lot happening here, as you can see. With an Elite controller, there's a lot to worry about. I'm also very quiet because I'm very focused. I don't want to mess anything up. Oh, there goes the sync button again. Alright. Let's just get the letter buttons out. These do fit. Yeah, that's a sad reality. It has to be a button. It has such a specific put in. So I guess now we just put it back together. Which I will be doing, because I do not want this apart for as longer than it needs to be. So now I think we're done. We can start putting stuff back on this. So I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna throw one on here to make sure. Does work. Everything does work. Our buttons are in. I just remembered something. So I will be right back. Once again. Okay, so for those who don't know, it is raining outside, so I had to run. But essentially, what I remembered Was I in fact wanted something very different on here? Because I have them. There's also this thing that just doesn't want to stay in place, which is very funny. Hello? There we go. So we are in fact pulling these buttons back out. I have to look in here for the other ones. I'm gonna take these, make sure I don't lose them. Put these in here. These are the ones we're using, so Y X B A, and now we can go right back to putting this back on. Which I keep messing this up. Obviously, I'm nervous because there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot more than a normal controller, and I don't want to break it. So it's a lot more nerve-wracking doing all this. It's a scary hobby, man. Okay. We can put the other screws back in. I think we can now work backwards here. Really? Okay. I'm pretty sure I can just put this back on, right? My look around would tell me yes.
This is I'm actually fixing the controller. Now I wanted to put it back together, yeah. So I need my thing back. I need what is going on here? I see. Okay, but we should have everything like set, yeah. These are all from the terminal controller. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Ow. We got power. We have power. We might have done it. I am sweating because the fireplace is on. I'm sorry I've not been talking a lot. I have been trying to hope I am doing this correctly. But we might have it. So unfortunately, as you can see, there's so much we're going to be missing. It's going to have the buttons, but that's about it. Which is fine. I don't hate that. If we can paint that or something. There's definitely something we can do to give it a little bit more color. But for right now, this is the best we can get. But for good news, we do have power. I feel like something's up here. Ah. I figured out what I did. Wonder if I can still get it in its current, not looking like it. Nope. Okay. I just broke it too. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. All that work I just did, I'm gonna have to undo. Slightly. I might be able to still be okay. But we did forget something with me trying to panic put something on. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, don't panic. But we ran into this completely blind. We're about to walk out. Having successfully repaired the controller. Is it perfect? No, I broke something. Broke something off it, but it does work now. Well, we have repaired a controller today. We have or I shouldn't say we have repaired. We have learned how to take apart a controller that I've never taken apart in an Elite controller, and we have learned how to completely disassemble the shell
of a controller. It is thundering out, so once we are done here, I will likely end stream and just kind of vibe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a customized Xbox controller. I don't know why it's infinitely blinking. But ideally, we still have an Elite controller. If we don't, we learned something today. But as you can see, we have an Elite controller with buttons. And I hope you enjoyed the stream. In the stream, we have cleaned and hopefully repaired 2 controllers over here. We have disassembled a broken controller and gotten parts out of it, including learning how to get the shell completely off. And we have put buttons on an Elite controller. So, whoever decides to watch this later on, thank you. Whoever did join, thank you for that person. And I don't know how often I'll be streaming on this channel, but I will be on the other channel, maybe streaming with friends or by myself, more likely. Now that we have an internet to do so. I had fun doing this. It's always, I enjoy doing this sort of thing. So, you guys have yourselves a good day. And stay safe out there.